What? Yeah, I am, man. I am. I should have took a nap. Or maybe my man here should have took a nap because he definitely got these players need media training. You know what I mean?
Goodness.
Like you got to feel or know when the setup is coming. So Dallas Cowboys safety Malik Hooker was on Keyshawn's podcast, All Facts No Breaks, and Keyshawn asked him a question, and I got a clip for you.
Question: How you feel about Micah having a podcast during the season? How you feel about that?
Honestly, man, like, and this is me. Like, I'm one of those guys. Like, I'm not into that type of stuff. You know, some guys it works for. You know, like you see the Jason Kelce's and guys like that who are successful with the podcast as well as performing on the field and having success with it. So I don't have a problem with it. I feel like a lot of these guys, though, they just get on there sometimes and they start falling into the part of, you know, just saying stuff that, you know, for the clicks and, you know, having people to come view and stuff like that. So, I mean, I don't have no problem with it. My thing would be, though, for Micah, my advice would be for Micah would be, you know, just make sure we're all right, you know, where and being where your feet are. Because if we're at work and, you know, the run game's terrible, but you're doing a podcast every week and, you know, the run game is terrible, then, you know, what are you really caring about? Are you caring about the crowd that
I'm on mute and I gotta unmute. So, of course, he said after that, are you caring about the crowd with the podcast or are you caring about what's going on in this locker room? So after hearing that, Blaze already knew what it was when he seen Micah in the thumbnail. He said it. He said it had to be something about him running his mouth. But Micah wasn't talking. It was more so Malik. But I gotta ask you, Dave, was Malik Hooker wrong for what he said about Micah Parsons?
As much as I like to defend players that have their own podcasts and are doing what they want to do, there comes a point where you got to be honest when it comes to Micah. It's not helping him. It's not helping him. There are some like Malik Hooker said, there are some that do it and are able to, you know, play their game and stuff like that. But then there are some that say stuff that's like, all right, you saying stuff to get clicks and likes. Like, I still remember, and you know, you should have known I was going to bring this up. I still remember when he said that he could pick up a football and play quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. I still remember when he said that. But then after that, he tried to say, no, we got respect for a person. No, it's too late. It's too late now. It's too late. You already said that you could do the same thing that he does. So my thing is, Micah, what is your focus when it comes to your podcast? What are you trying to do when it comes to this? Are you trying to get? Are you the guy that's trying to be honest and stuff like that, or are you the one that's saying anything to get the clicks and likes? So, and Micah has a thing where he needs to and look, even the comments are even bringing up all the other stuff too. He disrespected Jalen Hurts. He said TJ Watt is not a top edge rusher when TJ Watt is clearly the top edge rusher in the league. So he said that. So he's saying stuff that he just it don't make sense. It don't make sense. Then he said that, you know, that the NFC East would be any other division in the league, and that may be true on some. But it may be true on some. But the AFC North clearly last year had the better teams. Let's just be honest about that.
Go ahead.
But I'm not the type to tell Micah to be quiet, to not do it or anything like that. My thing is figure out what is it that you want to talk about? And are you going to be honest about it? If you're not going to be honest about it and you're doing it for click and likes and it's distracting you from your job, then maybe you should think about why you're doing it and when you do it. Like you could do it in the off season. You could do it when you have a bye week or something like that, or after everything is already done, after practice is already done, after you got all the game plans and all that other stuff, and try not to talk about the teams you're going up against or stuff like that. Talk about game plans and stuff like that. They talk about your mentality when it goes into a game, stuff like that. Like figure out what other things you should be able to talk about, because sometimes the stuff you talk about just it shouldn't be said. Especially when he talks about who he's like games he's predicting. Like sometimes it's not necessary to talk about other games when you got a game you need to focus on.
Man, y'all going, this gonna be an uphill battle, man. The comments, man, y'all don't remind me of so much stuff this boy done said on this podcast. Now I'm like, whoo. I mean, when I first heard it, like literally hearing it, I said, Malik Hooker is not wrong. 2 days later, of course, the internet get it and they clip it up and they was like, why you calling Micah out? And me and Carl had a discussion about it in the NFL chat about it. Carl felt the same way that the masses felt, that he was calling Micah out. And at the end of the day, when these players leave, again, if you can go back to the last segment, I said I need to see something. Like I can't just go to work every day. Like I'm an NFL player, I'm an NBA player. Like I want to go out, I want to have some fun, I want to play Call of Duty, I want to do all these other things. Micah just so happens to do a podcast. Now, again, I'm gonna answer the question again. Was Malik Hooker wrong for what he said about him? No. He was actually doing what a vet should do. Granted, it was on a podcast. I mean, the guy asked him a question, he gave him an honest answer. Like, Micah's young. So at the end of the day, you could do the podcast all you want. To me, as speaking for Malik Hooker in this situation, saying like, you not hurting me as long as you doing your job on the field. Now, when the team not doing good on the field, but yet you still going back to this podcast talking about certain things instead of trying to fix what's on the field, now we got an issue. Because again, it's 11 of us. Now, if you're not doing your job, I'm going to get fired. Because what's going to happen after that running back get past you? The safety got to get them. So if I don't get them, then they're going to start looking at me. So again, hey, Micah, are you here with us or are you doing this for the fan base on Twitter? Him calling out TJ Watt and all that other stuff, that's his stuff, right? I really think he should just stop doing the podcast as far as like everything that you said, Dave. I said it on here as well. If you want to talk about game plans with the Cowboys, cool. But I really think at the rate in which Michael Parsons is so honest once the lights go on, I don't even want him talking about the Cowboys for real. Because he might start saying some stuff that he shouldn't even be saying honestly. Because he can be like, yeah, so when we play the Packers, we're going to be in a 3-9. No, don't do that. I'd rather you just review the tape from old games. Be like J.J. Watt and LeBron James, where they just watch old games and then you talk about different styles and techniques. That's the Michael Parsons that people are looking for. That's the type of content that people are looking for. Like, tell us what you're seeing versus you doing what me and Dave doing, because we're fans of the game. So we should be able to be like, nah, this is what I expect out of TJ Watt. This is what I see when Michael Parsons take a playoff game off and we lose to the Packers, but Dak Prescott's the one that get blamed for it. That's another story for another day. But those are the things we're saying. You're on the field, so give us that aspect instead of just picking games. You know what I mean? And we're going to put some respect on Watt. I mean, when he's not tackling hot dogs. Bon, you know what I mean by that. So again, more of the story is I think Malik Hooker did exactly what a vet would do. Another thing I would say to Malik, though, is pay attention to the context in which somebody asks a question, because you can tell it's going to be a setup and you already know the clickbait is going to be there. You play for the Cowboys. I've never seen Malik Hooker do a actual interview outside of with Cowboy content creators. So I instantly clicked on it just to be like, what's about to happen here? And once I heard that segment, I said, I get where you coming from, but I know what's about to happen. Micah heard the snippet, went straight to Twitter. And now we're here. I was talking about BA and the 49ers. Now look at the Cowboys.
Look, BA and San Francisco still got our own things that we gotta take care of. So it's not like we don't have our own drama. As you can see, every year there's some drama coming out of San Francisco and there's some drama coming out of Dallas. It's like,
see, y'all is more like what we got with CD. This one is self-inflicted because it's like neither one of y'all should be doing this. We had DeMarcus Lawrence at the Super Bowl say they was tired. Then we got Micah and CD sitting down at the Super Bowl again. I mean, at the Pro Bowl, talking about they need more leadership. Then you got this. Then you got Dak not getting a contract. Should he do it? Should he be signed? And then we revert right back. Here go Malik Hooker saying it's just sometimes it's self-inflicted. It's not really about the business of the team. I'd rather what BA doing to try to get his contract. He's doing it the right way. He like, I'm gonna do what owners do to us. I'm gonna go on interviews and I'm gonna talk bad about them and tell y'all that I deserve my money. Hey. If you was on air, we would let that fly, but we not. Don't bring that comment back up. So Blaze, Michael, the preference what he said because he deleted the tweet, Blaze. Micah basically was like, man, why would you do this on a podcast? Like, you could have just picked up the phone and called me and we could have handled that. And technically, you could have picked up the phone and called him too. But again, it was a tweet.
Yeah, I mean, I get Micah's standpoint about, hey, you could have called me and stuff like that. But just like you said, you could have called him. You come like, hey, bro, I saw what the video was. Before I react, I'd rather you explain why you. I'd rather you explain to me what you meant, because I don't want to get it misconstrued. I don't want to be wrong in my thought process. I want to make sure I heard you correctly and I understand you correctly. So, yeah, drama in DC, drama Cowboys.
Hey man, that's what we live for. It gets the people going, you know. I kind of just wish, yeah, you know. And let me answer this before we move on because we got to talk about comeback season. And I got a question. I'm glad all you Eagle fans are here. So we basically, but I just say in closing, we agree, Dave. Like Malik Hooker wasn't wrong. All right, because we got the Eagles' attention. Let's keep them here for a while because we got to talk about comeback season and we got to talk about